Today is Monday, November 11th, 2024, and this is the start of an interview with Dr. Paula Stover at Georgia Highlands College. My name is Jasmine Damien, and I'll be the interviewer. Today's recording is part of the GHC Through Oral History project, and our theme is Our Stories and Experiences. Welcome. Do I have permission to record you today?
Yes, you do.
Okay, let's begin. What was your first impression of Georgia Highlands Community College?
My first impression was that this college is all about the students. There was a director of nursing, Becca Maddox, who, when I became an adjunct faculty in 2012, got me in her car and drove me to the Floyd campus because the nurses, teach at the Heritage Hall building in Rome. She drove me there. We chatted all the way, and it was her care of new faculty, her kindness, and just her strength in nursing. I just was wrapped in a blanket of love, and I just thought, this is nice. And then when I became full-time, I before I became full-time, I was being courted by other colleges because it was time for me to go back to teaching full-time. And I interviewed her before I interviewed for the full-time position, and I loved her vision for nursing education. It was right up my alley, and I just immediately went to work for her. So then I did apply and went through the interview process with the faculty and all.
Oh, that's
But I
amazing.
just, yeah, I just noticed that everyone at GHC was helpful, welcoming, and kind, and it's a rare thing to see that in an entire organization. So
Oh, really? How many colleges have you worked before, like in other colleges?
I, yeah, I taught as a guest lecturer at University of Illinois. Then I was a teacher at University of Connecticut and University of Tennessee and West Georgia here in Georgia before I came
Oh,
here.
got
Yeah.
you. Wow, that's a couple.
Yeah.
Okay. What unique traditions or events at GHC do you enjoy or have you enjoyed taking part in?
Uh, I love our Teen Maze community events. These are health education events for teenagers who are entering high school. Uh, it's it was designed to be a prevention of high risk behavior in teens. And our nursing students and all our whole college actually is involved in that. The events are now held on our Floyd and Bartow County campuses, and I love those. And then the interprofessional education sessions that the nursing students do with dental hygiene and the nursing pinning ceremonies. If you think about unique traditions, I love the nursing pinning ceremony. It's pretty neat. One
Oh,
thing
wow.
about GHC that's different is that our faculty line up after graduations, and as uh, the new graduates process out of the graduation toward their families, we stand in a line and clap and hoop and holler and cheer them as new graduates with their new degrees. I love. I love that, and that shows who we are at this college. It's amazing.
Ah, okay, okay. So this one must be a different ceremony that you've been to then.
Yeah, normally graduations are pretty, staid. You know, it's very professionally done. There are hoops and hollers, but not this grand welcome from the faculty to a new graduate. It's
Ah,
just, it's pretty cool.
yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, that definitely does sound more, I feel like, at least in graduations, it's very calm. Yes, there is like, a little bit of
Mhm.
celebration, but it's definitely
Mhm.
more.
Yeah, and you walk out and it's very prim and proper, and it's lovely. Graduations are great, and there's a sense of celebration. But this is just that extra touch that GHC does.
No,
So,
I see. That makes sense. That makes sense.
mhm.
And the next question, do you feel like you have contributed to GHC in your role? How have you contributed to GHC?
Yeah, I have. I've made a difference in the lives of many students. That's my heart. That's my intent. So while I was teaching here, I know I made a great difference in the lives of future nurses, but also students, and while they were journeying through the nursing program. I've got a lot of memorable stories about walking with them through the rigorous part of becoming a nurse. Becoming a nurse, it transforms us in many ways that we hardly even know as we go through the process. But nurses care for people in their most vulnerable um, times of their lives,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so there's yeah, that becoming a nurse, the actual becoming journey, transforms us, and in that things come up for us personally. And so I loved always being with students as they were going through that process. My goal was to always recognize and appreciate the potential inside students. So I loved being the one who would just remind them of the potential that's there, even though they were facing maybe some struggles that they didn't think that they could overcome, right? And sometimes students didn't overcome those problems and they had to come back the next year, or they went to another school after they left us and then contacted me and said, I've done it.
Oh,
I'm
that's
now a
amazing.
registered nurse. Yeah, yeah.
It's good that
So
they have. Oh, I'm so sorry. You keep
that's
going.
okay.
Going.
So
Sorry.
it's okay. So I serve as a safe space for students to explore their joys, pains, failures, and successes. And so that's my answer to that. Yes, I have contributed.
Ah,
Mhm.
okay, yes. I was gonna say that's so cool that they still have your contact information to reach out
Mhm.
because they feel
That's right.
like, they really wanted you to know. That's so sweet of them. You must
Absolutely. Yeah,
have
I
good,
love hearing back. Yeah.
yes, you must have like a really good relationship with a lot of your past students and even now future nurses.
That is right. hmm
That's so good. Okay, so what inspired you to start your career time at GHC and why have you decided to stay?
So, like I said earlier, I was being courted by two other institutions because it was time to go back to teaching, and I put the word out. And I taught before, so and also I'm in a specialty that is hard to recruit into nursing programs. It's mental health. And so it's a sought after specialty. It's hard to fill. And as I visited the other schools, and like I say, I like to interview first before I actually go for an interview just
Yeah,
to
oh
see
yeah.
if I fit, right? And if,
Yeah.
why waste somebody's time? But Becca, Janet, and the dedication to student success at GHC just won me over. So when I became full time, I already knew that I definitely wanted to work for the school. And then there was just this warm welcome and great mentoring that I had heard about at GHC. So it's pretty neat. Um, yeah, and so yeah, and I've told you about Janet and how I interviewed her. Her strength and her vision just blew me away. And it's a community college. I went to a community college. I taught at bigger universities and just the love here. I That's why I wanted to be here because of the care of the students.
Oh, I like that. I can also
Mhm.
tell definitely that you are really, really involved with your students. I can,
Well, I
and one thing,
was.
oh,
Yes,
yeah,
as a teacher, I was. Now that
yeah.
I'm the director, not so much, but you are right. I was very involved in their lot in whatever level they wanted me to be involved in their lives with them, I was. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, that definitely, I can see that. And so that brings me to your next question was, who was your biggest influence growing up? Do you have anyone like
Mhm.
that here at JHC or a mentor? Can you tell me a little bit about them, which I know you just told me about Janet.
Yeah. So Janet was we were more like peers. I know she was my dean, but she and I just knew each other, knew the vision, that kind of thing. She did help me in a couple of instances that could have been troublesome, but it worked out great. So for me, my biggest influence were my parents. My mother was a powerhouse of energy who loved deeply and just got things done. And my dad was a respected guy in the community. Both were very honest. They were both very clear thinking people,
Yeah.
respectful and hardworking. So, but of course, life brought them some. pretty major challenges, and they persevered. So perseverance and the inspiration to just keep going, keep your head up, keep your nose to the grindstone, or that kind of thing was how we grew up. My mother's mantra to us as we were all getting ready to go to school was smile, be friendly, and be happy and raise your hand in class. Smile, be friendly, be happy, and raise your hand in class. And so, no matter what was going on in our lives, that was just the thing. Go out there and make the world a better place. My dad's faith in God ran very deep, and he showed me that no matter what, my relationship with God would see me through anything that life sends my way. And that
That's
that
such
for
a
me,
really, yes, that's so
yeah,
really,
it
yeah.
was like the thing. Yeah, it was really helpful. My
No, it
mom's
really
can-do
is.
spirit, and yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not trying to talk over you, but I like what you said, what your dad said, because I feel like
Hmm.
that's so true. No matter
Hmm.
your relationship with God, definitely
Yeah,
need
yeah,
to be there.
that's right. And
It's
then the
really,
next question is, what inspired you to relocate? So,
yes.
again, I looked around. It was the love, and I will tell you that w- what inspired me to go back to Georgia Highlands was that I was coming to the end of I think I'd had 40 years or 38 years or something like that in nursing, and I knew for the last 10 or 12 years or whatever of my career, I wanted to teach. I wanted to come back to teaching. And
Um,
so, what many nurses do who are such good teachers and love to do it, it doesn't pay very well. So, we go out and make the money as a clinician, right? We go into clinical setting, we make this great money and do our thing. Well, I was in a position to just go back and teach and not financially and not have to worry about what I was going to make
yeah.
because the money was, it was not, it wasn't quite half, it was like 60% I think of what I was making. Anyway, I took a great, like a 40% pay cut to come here.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, oh, it's a big difference. It's
Wow.
really
It can,
hard. Yeah,
yeah.
in nursing. So, but I did. And so what inspired me to do it, I just knew it was time. I was winding down my career and I wanted to teach again. I wanted to help prepare the next group. That's my inspiration. And of
Wow, that
course,
is,
Georgia.
yeah, that's crazy though. Like, that's a big pay cut. I didn't know it
Yeah.
was like almost half.
Yeah, it's a big deal. For some nurses, it is half. For me at that time, I think it was around 60 to a 60-40 split. So I was only gonna a 40% pay cut is what I
Yeah.
remember thinking. Yeah.
Wow, that's so great.
Yeah.
I did not know that. But that proves
Yeah.
that you really do love to teach. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is really
And, well,
good.
I was in a good position to do it. I knew that I could do this and it would be fine. So
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
And I wanted to also ask you was, what are some challenges you faced in nursing?
So in nursing, there are so many stories to tell. I mean, now been a nurse 50 years plus,
Yeah.
and the profession touches us deeply. And if we're willing, it fosters our own growth as humans and professionals, but it also gives us an opportunity, like I said earlier, to walk with people through their most vulnerable times in life. There are, clinical stories that I won't tell here that were very challenging,
Hmm.
but stepping up and meeting those and then always calling a friend, always calling another nurse or a physician or somebody saying, hey, we got this going on. What am I going to do here? Right. I was really good with the skills, really good with the technology, the and the science of nursing. It was the um, it was the working with people who were struggling to master the situation. But
Uh,
I will tell you, once I did that, um, the learning the art of nursing, sitting with a wounded soul, the art and sciences, sitting with a wounded soul. Once I learned that, and I faced that fairly early on in my career, I became comfortable with that part of nursing, that nursing responsibility. And after that, I realized I could handle anything. So even though there were great challenges that came after that, I've got this. I just knew where to go to get whatever, the information or the resources I needed to help the person. And so I actually began enjoying just sitting, listening, and being attentive to patients and families' perspectives. And each one of them taught me something about life, that I carry with me now. So,
Oh, yeah, that is so true. That is so true. I can't imagine like just a bunch of different situations that you had to be in, you know?
mhm,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, and in nursing, you never know what you're going to walk into. You think you might know, and that's what we tell our students. You think you're walking into a textbook case. I'll do this, this, and this, and these are the outcomes, and this is what the patient's going to do, what I'm going to do. But you never really know. Every human to human encounter is totally different. So,
That's true. Yeah, that is so true. You're literally walking every day into a job that it's going to bring you something new than yesterday.
that's right. Mhm.
Can you describe your role as the director of nursing?
Yes. So here's where I really had to think out, and I've written some things down. You can tell I love teaching and I love nursing, right?
Yes.
Those practices, right?
Yes.
The art and science of administration is something I can do. I
Mhm.
consider myself an intermediate in administration. I can do it, and I've been told you do a good job, you're a good leader, all that, but I'm not masterful in it like I am in teaching and nursing. Okay.
Ah,
So
okay.
that I'm just going to say that outright that I always veered away. I've always been called to be a leader because I'm an innate leader,
Yeah.
but don't enjoy administration like I do others because
Mm.
I don't know why. I don't enjoy it as much. It's very different from providing patient care or teaching. It's all about caring for the program, the work, the things you're getting done through other people. It's also about caring for the people who are doing those things. Now, that part I love. I
Yeah.
carry
Yeah.
around a little pink notebook of things about my people that I am caring for so that they can have all the resources, all the things, all the help from me that they need. But then I have to, you hire professionals, you get out of their way and you just touch periodically. My responsibility is make sure that these things are being done well and right and all that, but I don't micromanage. I don't like that, and I would not do that to other people. In the beginning, when you have a new person, you have to stay with them and make sure until they show and they say, "Oh, I've got this." You see the light bulbs coming off. They know exactly what needs to be done. And you just go, "Okay, I've hired a professional. I'm walking out. You let me know what you need," right?
Yeah.
Um, so in this particular time frame of our nursing department, we had a lot of new faculty and we had a lot of new leadership. And so this was a very challenging time to be an administrator. And we were going through our accreditation cycle. It happens every 8 years.
Yeah.
And that is extremely detailed. And it made I made my mind become very myopic. I was into all the tiny, tiny details. You have to make sure every I is dotted, every T is crossed, all the other things are being done. And there's a whole set of standards from the National Accreditation Agency. And I think there's 57 things. If I remember right, if we counted them right, I don't remember for sure. And then with the
Wow.
Georgia Board of Nursing, there's this
Yeah.
whole long list. It's massive. And so I'm really good at project management. So I
Mm.
took that on as a project, and I had my timelines. I had I can do the Lean Six Sigma thing. I can do all of that. And we did it. And it came out, our accreditation and our approval process from the state were stellar. And actually, they used that word. And we got 10 commendations, meaning commendations for excellence from the state.
Oh,
And we
wow.
got, I know, we got one area of strength from the national, which is you rarely, rarely ever see that. I'm a visitor for the national organization, so I know what goes on behind the scenes, which actually helped us. And I know how hard it is for programs to actually get all the T's crossed and the I's dotted. I mean, it's a moving, programs are moving targets,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Always, but long story short, we got no suggestions for improvement. That is almost unheard of. That is so
Wow.
rare. So
That
you
is
can hear my
crazy.
excitement. I know we didn't
Yes.
have, I will tell you, in that process, I had to become, for me, a different leader than I normally would have been. I started out with, loving everybody, and my focus was the faculty, and we've done marvelous things to grow and develop our faculty. That goal of mine was done. That was so important to me, that the faculty, because nurses don't really understand academia. The world of academia is way different
Oh,
than clinical. And so
yeah.
it takes 2 to 3 years for a nurse clinician to finally go, oh, now I understand, right? All the things that
Oh,
have to do
wow.
with teaching.
Yeah.
And so I got that started, and I set up a mentoring program and an orientation program that actually made a huge difference. And
Yeah.
it collapsed the time that it takes for our faculty and our department to get up to speed, right, in the world of academia. So I just say that, but I will tell you, and the faculty know this, the staff know this too, because now that we're finished with our accreditation and our approval process, they're getting to know me again, who I am. And
Oh,
so I did, so can you describe your role as the director of nursing? Oh yeah. This was very unusual. Everything hit at once, and
wow.
all my mindset to be the big thinker and move us into the future and do all these cool things that had to sit on the sidelines while I got us through our accreditation and tidied us up, right? So
Yeah.
anyway, that was my experience. So I'm often when I've been called this so many times, you're a pioneer. And I've also heard you're a happy change agent.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, that's who I am, what I'm about. So what I was instead was a transition director. I am the transition between our last 50 years and our next 50 years. We're now in our next 50 years.
Oh, wow.
So I was a transition director, right? So,
Mm.
yeah, anyway, thanks for asking me about that. Because when you did, I went, oh my, well, what do I say about this? And I wrote about it, journaled it, right? Good
Yeah.
leaders are very self-reflective
Hmm.
and love good feedback, love tons of feedback from their crew and all around, right?
Yeah.
And so I've done a lot of introspection on this because this is not how I'd planned to end my career in nursing and retire. This I was going to be teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so it's all good, and I've come to a place of just understanding what it was and where we are and where the program's going to go, because I was, think of a transmission in a car, right? And
Yeah.
so I was the gear that shifted us into the next phase.
That is so amazing though. Like that's crazy. Like you've done a lot. Like a lot.
Yeah,
That's really good.
yeah. All
And
right. So was the
was
next one you said was becoming the director of nursing your goal when you first got
yeah.
started? So I'll
Hmm.
just no, period. No,
No.
it was
Wow.
not. I wanted to teach nursing till I became unusable, right?
Yeah.
I was going to quit about age 73 or 75. I
Wow.
figured I could teach that one because I teach health assessment, which is, you know, it's something that you can teach. It doesn't change much, and it's like health assessment into infinity.
Wow.
But I'm 71. I'll be turning 72 in January, so I'm retiring in
Wow.
December. This December,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Wow.
anyway, yeah,
That is crazy. Because when I
yeah.
saw that, I was like, I wonder if that was the goal or not. But I see that it's
Mm-mm.
not. So that's really,
It was not. No, and like I said earlier, I love teaching and nursing and all that project management. Oh my gosh, I love that. But I don't enjoy administration as much. Administrators have to, administrators have to have hard conversations, which is, that's what you do. And you have great conversations as well. With students, there is a role and an ability to do hard conversations that you're either in or out of the program, and I guide people through that. And with patients,
Yeah.
I can have hard conversations with patients, easy breezy, and I make it safe and wonderful for them. But I will
Ah,
tell you, with administration, there is that fear that comes up with people. Am I in big trouble? And I have to say, yes, you are. And is my job on the line? And I have to say, yes, it is.
yeah.
And I do it with love and care and respect and all of those things, you know.
Yeah.
But when you are an administrator, if a student is being hurt, if a program is being hurt, if we're headed over a cliff with a bad outcome, I have to stand there and say, you're out of here. Get off the bus. You're gone.
Yeah.
And so in that relationship, when those things are going on, I do them. I can do them. And because the outcome and the other people that are involved are the most important part. And if someone isn't going to play the game well and right, that's on you, not on me.
Yeah,
But
that's
I don't enjoy those conversations. Some people don't care. I
yeah.
care about people. Um, there's a book called The Map,
Yeah.
and it's a wonderful book written. It's actually comes from the five stages of faith. Um,
Oh, okay.
Fowler's work, yeah, of spiritual growth and development. Anyway, the book is written in a secular way for lay people, for
Oh,
leaders.
yeah.
And so when you come through these different phases, think about middle schoolers, think about high schoolers, that's level 3. Think about becoming an adult, that's level 5, and doing things. Level 4, rather. Level 5 is about having come through all that and coming back to caring deeply about the
Yeah.
people,
Oh, okay.
uh, and the things that are involved in, the work, the people, and the work, and being able to embrace it all. And that's where I am. I can do it, but I do not enjoy that part of the. I want to be the pioneer. I want to be the happy change agent. Let's go out and get the money. Let's go out and do whatever we need to do. So
Ah,
anyway,
yeah. Okay,
yeah,
yeah, that is so
yeah.
true. Oh my gosh. I
So
know that
anyway,
that
that's
definitely,
just me. Some people can do it and others. It's just not the talent that I was given. Although I'm told, yes, you are. You're great at that. But, anyway.
yeah. No, that is true. I mean, I guess you don't enjoy it, but you can do it.
I do it, and years ago, I had to fire somebody for, they did an egregious act, innocently enough, but it was very stupid, and it could have been a lawsuit. And so
Oh,
I sat the person down. Of course, I had my HR with me and did all the things, but
yeah.
she said to me, you're firing me, but I don't feel bad about it. You're doing the right thing. I've learned a lesson. And she hugged me,
Oh, wow.
and it was those, so I can do that work and I can do it very well. But and I know anyway, but I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. Wow, he
Okay.
hugged you?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
she did. Yeah, she
Oh,
did. She
she
said,
did.
I feel so cared for, but you're firing me.
Yeah,
She said, yeah, anyway, that's how it can't be done.
right. Oh, wow, it can. But a hug is
Mhm.
great. You must have been doing it
Yeah. Yeah. And
kindly.
of course, there were others where, I had to do it in a crisp, clean way, rip off the Band-Aid, and then allow, HR to be there with the person because it would have, it depends on the human being. I look to her this day and go, wow, she's moving into self-mastery. There are other firings where you just have to rip off the Band-Aid and then take care of it, do the thing, and then leave the room because the person will, move into attack and defense mode, and that doesn't help anybody. It actually hurts them. So
Yeah,
I've done those too. Yeah.
yeah, that is very
So,
true.
yeah.
And because I had a question as well as this, but
Mhm.
I remembered our conversation, when we were on their phone, and
Uh-huh.
I wanted to ask, what was your experience as the director of nursing as well as teaching students? Because I
Oh, yeah,
remember,
that's right. Mm.
yeah.
So with teaching, oh my gosh, I just love it so much. I have a partnership with
Ah,
patients and with students. I see it as and that's my problem with administration. The ones that want to partner with me, oh my God, we're just doing great. It's the people that don't want to partner with me. Every leader has 50% not 50%, you have about 20% who are stabbing you in the back all the time or trying to sabotage your work. It's just the nature of group dynamics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what bothers me. I'm going to sew that up. So with teaching and nursing, um, I just I'm in partnership with them. I use the word we a lot. What here's some information. What do you want to do about this? What can we do together? And when students are failing out, it's they know I am their best partner until the day they walk out and come back the next year.
Yeah.
Patients always and families always knew that are we done? It wasn't me wanting to walk out of the room. Are we done yet? Are we done yet? Like that. It was I brought are you finished with me? Do you have everything you need? Like that.
Ah, yeah.
So, I told you some stories, I think, when we met before, and you can add those to this. I'll give you permission in here. Just add whatever I
Oh, okay.
said there. I was
Yeah.
streaming. I talked more about administration this time than I did the teaching and and being with patients. But again, it's the I love, I'm so curious about the people that are either the students or the patients and families. I'm just curious about them. I want to know about them and I want to know what their goals are. As students, very often they don't know what their goals are. They just want to get the next good grade and get through the program and become a registered nurse. And so um, sometimes I would have to help them know what their next goal was. Like, just stay in the boat. Like I would give a
Yeah,
talk
no.
in the
I know what
beginning,
you
and I would
mean.
say, "You guys just stay in the boat. Stay in the
Yeah.
boat. Do this next." Yeah.
No. Oh my, that no, that makes.
So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm just writing down a few things as
Yeah,
we.
sure. And then go ahead and I know I gave you some stories and things like that from teaching and from nursing, probably.
Yes, you
Yeah.
did. You gave me some good feedback. I
Mhm.
remember the story of the lady that you told me was very tiny and like fragile.
Oh, yes, my first patient that I had to give a bed bath to.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Oh, that fragile being. Yeah.
And I couldn't believe that being like one of your first patients, like
Uh-huh.
you really didn't, I know you didn't expect that. And then that being
Mm-mm.
the
Mm-mm.
situation was definitely, scary
Yeah.
for sure.
It was scary because I didn't want to break her. I mean, she was that fragile. And
Yeah.
yeah. And so that, some brand new nursing students get a very heavy weighted person, but you don't worry about breaking them. And they're hard to roll over, and you work with them to, get all of their body cleaned and comfortable, and all the linens underneath with no wrinkles, so that they are as comfortable as they possibly can be. And
Yes.
and with her, she was just so fragile. Mm.
Yes, I remember that was very crazy to hear when you were telling me. I was like, wow, like I really couldn't imagine
Mhm.
having to do
Yeah.
this.
Mhm. Yeah.
And you did mention you are retiring in December. How has the
Mhm.
nursing program changed since you first arrived to Georgia Highlands?
Yes, and I wrote some things down for that. I'm glad I got these questions ahead of time. So I have 5 points, and the first one is it's our wonderful faculty and staff that embraced continual professional development. That we were in a mode of cruising along and just doing great. When I arrived in 2012, 2014 as a full timer, we were just doing great. There was no reason to change anything. It was just working. And we did some professional development, but we weren't really into striving for our best. And I'm not saying anything bad. I don't want that. I'd love to delete that word.
No, yeah.
Um, we were doing great, right? So what could be better? But then we came to realize that um, knowledge saturation in all of healthcare is troublesome, and our our board scores were slipping a little bit. Anyway, long story short, we modernized our curriculum to what's called concept-based curriculum. And we were one of the early adopters of this. In 2018, we started our first cohort. It took us 3 years to develop the new program. It's a huge, massive change.
Oh,
And believe it or not, our students started doing better on the NCLEX exam. So we knew we were doing the right thing. Um, but we have, for ourselves personally and professionally, we have embraced professional development. We got back into school. We got our doctor. Many of us got our doctorates, and some still are working on that, or have just entered a doctoral program. Because in a community college, nursing faculty can teach for the rest of their lives as a master's prepared nurse. But
oh,
we raised the bar as to what we consider great in our program, right?
yes.
And we're not doing what used to be our best is now like, wow, we're really doing much better like that.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Yeah. And our new curriculum is phenomenal, and it's really helping our students. And then the evidence-based learning experiences, we added Teen Maze, interprofessional education, lots of high impact teaching strategies that are very different, and new and innovative. And because of Janet, she came to me and she said, look, you're an innovator, a pioneer, change agent. She said, I really need this for our program. I'm going, okay, we were getting ready for another accreditation back then. She said, we
Yeah.
need IPE, interprofessional education, and we need a community engagement. I'm going, okay. Teen Maze was coming in. So I was the initiator of that. I got that whole thing started that we're doing now. And then interprofessional education, interestingly, the summer before I came full time, I had attended just on my own because I wanted to,
Yeah.
an interprofessional education, uh, 4-day intensive immersion
Oh,
that taught faculty how to do that. At the time, God had guided me to do that because I thought, oh, this looks interesting just for CEUs, right? Continuing
yeah.
education, which you have to have. It turns out I was studying the people that had started this in 2011 across the country were teaching it. So I was taught by the initiators of this whole thing that is spread across our country. I didn't know it at the time. And I brought that phenomenal, beautiful package to Georgia Highlands College. I
Oh,
don't think the faculty realize that, and they don't need to know, but I will tell you that is something that I have done for our program, because what they did, the initiators of this national effort at these big universities, and it was nursing and medicine and dental hygiene and all, pharmacy and all this. They, in 2018 and 11, they initiated it, did some pilot studies, found out what does not work. I
oh,
underline that, right? And they
yeah.
kept telling us, we learned this by trial and error. Don't do this, and they would show us
Oh,
best practice, right? And so they
yes.
came out with the beautiful book that we used as our stuff. But anyway, I don't need to dive into that too much, but you can hear my excitement about it. It's
Yes,
like
yes.
Georgia Highlands College got this thing because I just happened to go to this beautiful, well run by the national champions of interprofessional education. So we have Team A's because I helped get it started. And this again was Janet saying, I need this. And,
Uh,
I know you have a vision. I'm going, okay. And so I did. So those things were started. And we've got other stuff too. And
uh,
then some of our faculty are highly skilled in simulation, and we're like, our accrediting visitors were very impressed with the way we do sims. Now you can have great equipment, but if the faculty don't understand how to run simulations, it really, it cannot be as effective for students learning. We've got some phenomenal sim people at our college. It's amazing.
yeah,
And
that's
then,
amazing.
and that was something that Janet had pushed for, and it's something that we hired. Actually, it's what our assistant director of nursing is very skilled in sim. She runs one of the sims for the medical residents, so she's pretty
Oh,
cool.
wow.
We
Oh,
increased our enrollment, so we were at 120 students enrollment in each cohort when I arrived, or total. I'm sorry,
yeah.
total. And then we dropped because the nursing shortage wasn't so bad in our region.
Oh,
And I think there were other reasons why we dropped. Yeah, there were. I won't say this online. There were reasons why we just shrunk a little bit, and now we're on our way back up. So we are now this fall. We admitted more than 120 students, and
Oh,
so we are back up where we were, and we've got a goal to go even higher. So
oh,
that's the other thing that has changed for us is that we now have the capacity. Our faculty are very good and our faculty are able to make this work. So that's another thing. And then those high marks that we received from our national accreditation and our state approval visits, when they came, those are astronomically better.
yeah.
In going back in our as the director of nursing, I went back and I looked at our history, and of course I'm the steward of all that. So I made, and in our own study, I went back and looked the last few times that we were visited to see where we were missing. And of course, I made sure that those areas were top notch. But we have never had a 100% way to go, and we did this time. So
Oh, wow.
those are the five
That's
things.
great.
I know.
Yeah.
We're
Oh my.
we're in great shape in our program.
No, I really like that. That's because I was wondering that too when I was doing all this. I was like, even though I'm learning, like, studying for something else, it's also cool to know about how other programs are and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. And um, what are some of the most difficult and benefits that Dr. Amison and you came across when creating Introduction to Nursing LibGuide?
Yeah, gotcha. So authoring that open education resource was absolutely a delight. What Dr. Amos said, it was a joy. We enjoy each other's company anyway as colleagues, and we had a ball writing. She is the creative genius. I am a great writer. I will
Ah,
say I'm a great writer. I went to private schools as a kid. And so they definitely made sure that we knew how to write. That was one of the things,
oh
right?
wow, yes.
So I just feel really blessed to have that gift
Yes.
and that talent, that was honed. So our intent
Mhm.
was to inspire other nurse educators to author some more of these. And we just presented a talk at a national conference describing the process, and it was really cool. So
Yeah.
it was a joy. Now, our challenge was simply learning how to use the LibGuide because we had envisioned that we would write this little small book that was needed for this course, right? It was the new curriculum that we needed the book for, and we were just going to write a little book
Yeah.
and have it be done. But it was Julius Fleshner, the Dean of Libraries, who said, well, if you do a LibGuide, let me show you around. And we thought, oh my
Oh,
God, this is going to be complicated. Are we going to be able to use the technology? It was so easy. So that challenge was not hard.
oh, that's
And
good.
so, but that was our biggest challenge.
It
And
was to use
so,
LibGuide.
yeah, to
Ah,
act well, to write in it, to actually learn how its structure so that we could put the book
ah,
in there. You see what
yes,
I'm saying? Yeah.
yes, no,
And
yeah, okay.
under his mentorship, it was easy. So that was the hardest thing, but it turned out to be easy. And then the benefits are the students, it's ease of use. We hear that from our feedback all the time, the accessibility and no cost. It's used globally
Yeah,
around the world. Yep.
that was so
And
crazy.
yeah, I know. And the benefits for faculty are the ease of use and the ability to update it in real time. So anyway,
Oh, yes,
yeah,
I remember you did tell me that. You
yeah.
did.
So the challenge was we were worried about it, but it turned out because we wrote it on a Word doc, and that was what we were told to do. Go ahead and write it on a Word document, and then you're going to copy paste, and we'll show you how to get it in. There's formatting that you have to do when you're working within a LibGuide to create it, and it turned out to be easy.
Yeah. Oh,
So
wow. I did
yeah.
not know you did Lib Word doc first, and then you transferred everything down there.
Yeah, because everything, as you go so for the creative process, it's a good idea to do that.
Yeah.
So you can run through it. Everything's in one place. You don't have to, you can do a search in your Word document. Like, where did we say that? Where do we have that link? In LibGuide, you can't do that as easily as you do in Word doc. So
Oh, okay, okay. That, yeah, that definitely
yeah,
makes sense.
yeah.
And In LibGuide, I see you posted links. Were these the
Mhm.
same links you used when studying the field, or are these new links you found, and how did you find them helpful?
Yes and no. So, yes, we went out and we studied, we got 15 fundamental nursing textbooks to pull some data from and all of that. And then we went out into the world of literature. We got help from our librarians. Would you help us search for this and that? And so, yes, as we were pulling the content together and learning about, textbooks are about 5 years old when they're published. So we
Yeah,
were searching, well, what's the newest thing on that, right? So yes, we were learning as we were going about the newest stuff.
got
And
it.
but then also, were they links that you used when studying? No, the other answer no is no. Some of those links are just ones we knew we were going to use, like go here, do this, do that, like that.
Ah,
So
okay, yes. I was
yeah.
looking because when I looked at the LibGuide, Introduction to Nursing, I was looking through and I saw a bunch of links and I was like, oh, I wonder if these were the same ones or if these are just
Mhm.
new.
Yeah. So some of them guided us and some of them we said, this is going to the students. We want this to guide them. So yeah, both
Uh,
ways.
yeah. And in 2023, you were honored with the Wool Raven Award. How did you feel to receive
Mhm.
that honor?
Well, so I'm not one that I don't go after awards. I'm more of an internal person. Uh, and I appreciate, I like, a pat on the back or something every now and then, but I get very humbled when I get an award and I just feel, gosh, someone else could have, not could done better. It's not like that. It is anyway. Long story short, I feel very humbled, but I felt so appreciated by my fellow faculty because fellow faculty vote you in on that. Um, and
Okay.
so students, we get feedback from students from the course of hours. We hear exactly, whoops, I messed up there, but oh wow, this I'm doing great. Keep this up with a fellow faculty, you don't know. And so I was shocked, of
Oh,
course, that I was on it, but also felt very humbled. Um, my acceptance speech was real brief, and it was a thank you to my fellow faculty for honoring my work and thinking of me that way. But
yeah.
it was a huge fat thank you to my students for bringing out the best in me because the students that bring out the best in me, that is the spirit of Walraven. Wesley Walraven was a guy that he started the college, right, with his
Yes.
friend. And it's like, wow. So
Oh,
I
yes,
thanked
yes.
the students. Yeah.
And you've only got it once, or
Yeah, so Walraven is only given if you're on the list of awardees, if you're on the list again, you won't get it again. There's no
oh,
repeat. Yeah. So it's given
gotcha.
every year, yeah. And you can
Uh,
look on that list and it's an awesome group of I feel very honored to be on that list of people that receive that award. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, that
It's,
makes
it's
sense.
a huge, huge honor. Yeah.
Oh, yes, I believe that. Okay, let me just write a little bit more down. And then this brings us to our last question. Do you have
Mhm.
anything more that you do want to accomplish? Because you've
So
already done.
yeah, so I'm winding down at Georgia Highlands and I'm tidying everything up, handing it over with a bow and a gift wrap and all that.
Yeah.
I'm finishing that up and it's nearly completed. But do I want to accomplish more, moving on past Georgia Highlands? And it's
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah.
Um,
Yes.
my life mission actually is to recognize and appreciate the divine flame in everyone I meet. And
Oh,
so that is my mission in life. So I will keep doing that. And my dance card, they say, for retirement is filling up fast. So there's much more to do, many more adventures to explore. And I don't know, I'm leaving wide open what comes next. And things just keep coming up next. And I say yes or no to those opportunities. And yeah. But the main thing is to again, sit with people. I know how to sit with wounded souls. I just did that this weekend with someone, and it was a total shock that I would meet this person and someone asked me to sit and visit with her, and I did, and it turned out to be quite a story, and so such a broken story. And we went for a walk and she was smiling and feeling great afterwards. So there's more of those adventures to do, and I have a lot of gardening to do.
Ah, yes. Okay, yes. That
Okay.
sounds very eventful.
Yeah,
Mm,
but it's wide open. So anyway, thank you for
yes.
your interest and this chance to review my work at GHC. This has been a nice thing to do as I retire. I really appreciate you asking me these questions.
Oh, yes, of course. You were a very interesting narrator for me. I really enjoyed doing this with you.
I'm glad. It's great.
This concludes our interview today with Dr. Paula Stover. Thank you so much for taking the time to share your experiences at GHC and your other stories with me.
You
So,
are welcome.